come to the bold analysis. William Ruto has sent John Mbadi, the Treasury Cabinet Secretary, has been given a brief. And this brief is very clear that go to Homa Bay, and specifically Homa Bay, and tell Homa Bay residents that because of the cabinet secretaries that I've given you and the things that I've done, you must, the Luo Nyanza must respect or must endorse William Ruto in 27 and stand with him beyond 2027. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We do this each and every day because of your support. And kindly subscribe. Subscription is absolutely free. Without much ado, I want you to listen to John Mbadi.
2027, UDA and ODM nyaka work together.
Amen.
I have been a chairman of ODM for 10 years. Looking at the dynamics of politics of this country, we don't have a choice. The two parties must work together.
Yes.
The two parties must work together, if not for anything else, but to lead unity in this country. Yes. If not for anything else, there must be unity. We must entrench unity in this country. We don't want people who think they are more Kenyans than others. We are all Kenyans. Whether you came from where, all of us must have come from somewhere. Luos came from South Sudan, the others came from Zambia, wherever. Subas, we came from Uganda. We have found ourselves here. We are Kenyans, and we all have equal rights. People tell us that this government must be removed at whatever cost.
Why?
So what is the problem with this government? The first question, they will tell you, oh, this is serikali, hakuna kitu inaendelea. Let me ask you, even those people, when Odour was working as a president, I still remember very well, they were complaining about tea sector, they were complaining about coffee sector, they were complaining about sugar sector, actually our side. They were complaining about the milk sector, the dairy subsector. Today, none is talking about tea. No one is talking about coffee. No one is talking about milk, because the government has tried to fix problems in those subsectors. Today, they have changed. They are now human rights activists. Something they are not known for. Since when did they start being human rights activists? Who raised his hand when Musando was killed? If you are a human rights activist. Sisi nje tulibaki na hiyo mzigo. Who raised his hands among those people when Baby Pendo was killed? And I'm not justifying killing of anybody. We have talked about it. If we must deal with that. Ray knows we have talked about police reforms. And they are carrying out police reforms. We left it somewhere. It's torn with Uhuru Kenyatta as the president in 2013 to date. But what we are saying, don't use one mistake, one incident to say, to achieve your tribal and ethnic thinking. There are people who are opposing the president today just because his name sounds strange. It's not because negative things are happening in this country that has never happened before. I have just told you. Agricultural sector was on its knees when President Uhuru was in power. That is the fact, and no one can deny it.
In this viral video, I always say it is regrettable. A cabinet secretary that is supposed to be working around the clock to execute the policies and the fiscal policies on money and expenditure and the budget of the country has reduced himself to a political campaigner of the president instead of talking about the ministry. It's mind-boggling sometimes to listen to CS Mbadi. I want you to compare Mbadi and Oparanya. Oparanya will talk about SMEs. We'll talk about cooperatives. When you listen to someone like Mutahi Kagwe is talking about rice farmers in Mwea, about how they have rice glut. He's talking about the policies that government is doing, the things that government is doing in the Ministry of Agriculture. But the Cabinet Secretary Mbadi, instead of talking to this country about budget policy and the money question, the money aspects in this country, I am shocked, and I've been seeing it's mind-boggling that Mbadi speaks only politics of how William Ruto is going to be re-elected in 2027. And we need to say this. It's not a very good gesture. And there is no other way to say it. Instead of this, but I will tell you the plan between Mbadi and William Ruto. And I want to look at that. Why am I saying he's been sent to Homa Bay? Look who responded. Millie Odhiambo is saying that there is no automatic support for William Ruto. We might as well ask William Ruto to support us in 2027. This is Millie.
Is that Raila Amolo Odinga has had to make difficult choices for the sake of this country. We went through difficult times, and I watched Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga almost being killed. So for him to make a choice to move the country forward, nobody should blame him for that. And because of that, we have agreed that for purposes of stabilizing the country, to stand with the broad-based arrangement up to 20, and it is not automatic that it is a must that it is Ruto that we will support. Even Raila Amolo Odinga, we can also ask Honorable Ruto to support Baba. Yeah, it is an issue of negotiation. Very Kisera. Kisera also Kisera. God bless you. Adongana no kanyasi Kodolika.
I will work.
These two are neighbors. These two, one comes from Suba North, one comes from Suba South. Both of them come from Homa Bay. So while Mbadi is sending an information about endorsing William Ruto, Millie Odhiambo is neutralizing that by saying we might as well ask William Ruto to endorse Raila Odinga. And sometimes I wonder, what exactly is Raila up to? When Odinga speaks, he's said it in Luo radio stations, when he attends these burial ceremonies in Luo Nyanza, when he attends the church services here in Luo Nyanda, when he's even having the national interviews in the mainstream. He's consistent, even though we don't know whether, we may not believe in what he says, but this is what he says, that we will support Ruto for the sake of stability of the country until 2027. Then by then, we will decide. Then from there, Mbadi picks up and says, we will support Ruto beyond 2027 and 2032. Are these two gentlemen talking the truth? Are these two gentlemen talking the truth? So why has, I want to answer the question on, why do you think the president is sending Mbadi with a 2027 endorsement message? Why? This is it. I want you to understand that Edwin Sifuna made an interview and caused a storm within the ODM party. The president handlers demanded that Sifuna be removed as the Secretary General of the party, and some ODM MPs were even roped into that plan, so that Ledama Olekina, who is a broad-based senator, is picked as the ODM SG. My member of parliament, Atandi, was even saying that Jared Okello, Nyando MP, has better English than Sifuna and should be the SG. The outcome of the Central Management Committee, the outcome of that engagement was, so I was saying the outcome of that engagement was that we have a technical committee to look at the MOU between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. And to that extent, William Ruto feels that Raila Odinga is actually sending Edwin Sifuna with the mixed signal. At this point, I wanted to listen to what Sifuna said in Trans Nzoia today.
Kwamba msimamo wa Sifuna hakuna siku utabadilika. Baba aliniambia kwamba ndani ya chama cha ODM kuna demokrasia, ya kwamba kila mtu anaweza kusema ile kitu ambaye anataka kusema. Lakini kuna wakora wengine ndani ya chama cha ODM wanasema Sifuna hawezi kuwa na maoni yake kibinafsi. Wananiambia ati mimi Sifuna, hakuna tofauti ya Sifuna the individual of the person na katibu mkuu. Wanasema ati Sifuna akikohoa ati chama mzima imekohoa. Kwa wajomo ndani ya chama cha ODM, baba amesema Sifuna ana haki ya kutoa maoni yake mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo wale walikuwa wanapata wasiwasi wanasema tuliona Sifuna akisoma sijui statement ya chama. Wacha niseme leo nikiwa hapa katika kaunti ya Trans Nzoia, wakati nitabaki kama katibu mkuu wa chama, nitasoma resolutions za viungo vya chama. I will read all the resolutions that are made by organs of ODM except one. Except one. Which one? Wanataka ODM wakipitisha waseme Sifuna ni shenzi kabisa, nitasoma. Wakisema huyu Sifuna ni bure kabisa, nitasoma. Lakini siku ile watapitisha ati chama cha ODM kitafunga Kasongo mkono mwaka wa 2027. Hiyo nataka niseme mbele yenu na mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Hiyo kusomi. Unanielewa? Hiyo itabidi watafute mtu mwingine ya kusoma mambo ya Kasongo. Nimesikia wakisema rafiki yangu Jared Okello hapo tayari kusoma hiyo mambo, ati yako na kizungu mingi kushinda Sifuna, ati anaongea ile ya mapua, alisoma Uingereza. Ndugu yangu Jared Okello, kuwa tayari wakati wowote. Kama unataka kufanya kazi Sifuna anafanya, uko ukae tayari. Siku ile watasema ODM inaenda na Kasongo. Hiyo mimi siko ndani. Ndani kabisa. Nikikuja hapa nilipigia gavana wetu simu, mheshimiwa anatembea. Anajua ya kwamba niko hapa Trans Nzoia katika kaunti yake. Na nimesema watu wote ambao watatusaidia kwa hii shughuli ya kutoa Kasongo mamlakani, hakuna mtu tutakataa kuongea na yeye. Hakuna mtu, kwa sababu kuondoa William Ruto ofisini is a national priority project. Is a national priority project. Nataka nirudia wale ambao hawajasikia wasikie. Kwa hivyo ndugu yangu natembea, mimi nataka nikuambie kama ndugu yangu, hakuna mtu atanikataza kuongea. Sema natembea. Anaongea na yeye.
Now, Mbadi is picking it from where Sifuna left, because Sifuna's storm was a litmus test to gauge where Odinga stands, and William Ruto was watching to see how will Raila handle Sifuna. And because what probably William Ruto would have demanded is Raila to reprimand Sifuna in public and probably tell Sifuna that you need to support me and probably bash off Sifuna? You see, even a caucus of MPs like Aladwa, who was attacking Sifuna after that Central Management Committee meeting that Raila held, he's now backing Sifuna. And you must understand the history between Mbadi and Sifuna. They've not been getting along. But then Don and come, hey, macho, I'll come kesho. So, the Ruto endorsement message is being floated at this point with none other than John Mbadi, because Mbadi wants, William Ruto wants to sustain the messaging of Nyanza supporting Ruto and suppress the discussion of a technical committee, the discussion that engagement between Ruto and Raila will depend on the outcome of the technical committee that is evaluating the MOU, the BBG MOU between the two leaders. So, and I can tell you this, Mbadi is very clear in his mind. Mbadi is very clear that what they want to achieve with William Ruto is that. The second point is this. President Ruto wants an early endorsement from Luo Nation. And this is how it should come. It should either come through Raila Odinga failing to vie, then Luo Nation to be left to choose between either Ruto or the opposition candidate. Or he will still want to have Mbadi leading Ruto campaigns comfortably. And I'm reading the lips of Raila. Raila is saying everyone has his democracy to say. When we get to 2027, will party have a position, or they will say those who want to support Ruto, those who want to oppose Ruto. So what President Ruto wants to achieve, number one, they want to send a message to Luo Nation at this point. Don't think about Raila vying. At this point, we are going to support Ruto between now and 2027. Of course, we understand. Even if Raila is not on ballot, that should not mean that the Nyanza vote is out for auction. I strongly believe so. It's not out for auction. So the other third point I can see here is this. William Ruto is targeting Homa Bay. Yesterday was Saturday. I was in Homa Bay, by the way. Yeah, over this weekend, I may spend time huku. I was in Homa Bay. Nikapita Katito, Aero hapa, Katito, Nyakweri, Kindu Bay. I went to Homa Bay. I took that route to Rongo, Bigori, Mbele, hadi somewhere called Ngiribe. So you pass Suna East. There is a road that passes Suna East, and I want to say it. People who come from Migori know this road. It's ni barabara mbaya sana. Ukipita Migori town, Mbele, there is some rough road, some Maram road. It will pass through Suna East to Suna West, the other side, and get to a center known as Ngiribe. So I was in Ngiribe. Yesterday, we were in Ngiribe to support one of our subscribers here who was paying dowry. Yes, I was there. So I was there to support one of us here. Then, I realized hiyo barabara ni mbaya sana. Let me tell you. And Masara, Peter Masara and the Junet. Now that you guys are in broad-based, you guys should work on something on that road. Now, where was I telling you that story? I was saying, and I saw Jaramogi Stadium. Niliona hiyo Raila Odinga Stadium hapo. And I was saying this. Mbadi is being dispatched to try to woo Migori and Homa Bay. And this is what William Ruto wants. That let me miss, I've lost Kisii and Nyamira to Matiang'i. I might lose Kisumu because Anyang' Nyong'o and Orengo are not here. I was in here. We wish our governor, James Orengo, of course, quick recovery. But because he has lost Kisii and Nyamira, he wants to scoop Migori and Homa Bay. And this message of we are going to endorse Ruto is probably targeting a message. It is actually showing you what they want. And I need to say this. You know, there is something, I will say it here. It is normally unpopular. People don't like it, especially people who come from this place where we are born, where I was born. This is the truth. We appreciate, for the first time, it's fine, someone from the Luo is in the treasury. However, if a road is built somewhere, it is not a favor. It is not a favor. So you must be very careful with how you take up the people like Mbadi. While they are masquerading under the guise of fighting for the rights of the people, you must really question, is it really because Mbadi is the CS? And so, if this is the precedence, post-2027, if we don't get a CS, so roads should not be done. It is not a favor, because other people have been getting it, and developments have been done even before. Sisi tuko na barabara, there is a road near to Ndori. It's done. By the way, I passed through Ndori, and people from this place, your bridge, there is a bridge known as a bomb, where a bomb just past Nyangoma. Your bridge ni mbaya sana. I think something should be done. But of course, someone should write a petition for the leadership to do something. So, and I was saying this, you must be very careful with the people from Mbadi, people like Mbadi. Are they talking for your interest, or they're talking because he wants to retain the CS position? And on this one, I think Odinga must actually crack the whip. This message is getting there. People are masquerading like they're fighting for people's rights, but in real sense, they're pushing for their own interests. Thank you.